I was born and raised in America. I saw growing up that the narrative about Africa was wrong. We are a strong, positive, prideful people. So I wanted to make a movie for African Americans to show them what I had seen growing up in Africa.
The colonial masters really did change things for us, because some of us come from families where the matriarch, the maternal side, is really the more empowered. But at the advent of Christianity, which of course were the European colonial masters, they changed things for us. And women now had to play second fiddle to the husbands. How did that evolution come about? Because I'm having a hard time digesting that. And I know later on, when the Arabs came with Muslim religion, with Islam, that also took us a step backward. Isn't that ironic that our traditional values were much more in place to favor us?
I think when anyone comes to occupy, it is oppression. It is to undo what is there, to phase out what is there, because you have to implement a system that will ensure your success, not to sustain what was already there.
Ethiopian Airlines is really right now competitive with all other international airlines on the West, and people are shocked. How did Ethiopian Airlines get to be such a force?
It goes back to something that I've said a little bit earlier on. Ethiopians are very hardworking people. Ethiopians are exceptionally proud people. And to have a company that is doing so well, you have to also take a look at the leadership. We have amazing leadership. Our CEO, our current CEO, is amazing. Our previous CEOs have been wonderful people, visionaries really, who put their love of country first. And because of that, we are here where we are today. This company has run uninterrupted for nearly 74 years. Uninterrupted, it's unheard of in the continent. We work.
Black music, black culture is so diversified, but I'm wondering where you think our culture, black culture and black music, is on the radar in terms of global entertainment.
I'm among the pioneers who started this movement. I don't care what anyone says, but for me, I just feel like, I'm going to put it straight. Our music today, they've heard it, they love it, they respect it. Have they accepted it 100%? No. Because at the end of the day, I think when I want to say Asian category, American category. Have you seen that?
No.
So what is the African category?
Because when I was on beach, I used to dress, with the fitted caps and all that, and I was losing my identity as an African. People would look at me and say, "You're light skinned, how can you be from Africa?" Not knowing in Africa, there's every single shade of black. Because here they look at race as black, white, Spanish, Asian, whatever. In Africa, Africans look at other Africans as African.
First of all, we came before Columbus. We existed before the arrival of Columbus. So that's important to say. But it doesn't change that some of us may have arrived during the slave trade. When you go into like the Americas, you see the pyramids. So the pyramids that we refer to as built or belonging to, for example, like the Mayan pyramids, it becomes complicated that if your face or my face is on the pyramid, and then you claims that it's yours, so but our branding is on it, then we need to check our stories.
Yes. It's time for people of African descent to work together. But I have to tell you, as somebody that came to this country as an African, it was sometimes a little tough to integrate with my African American brothers and sisters. And there's a perception that Africans don't like them, or that we're taking the opportunities and all of that. But isn't it time for us to get along?
I thought we always got along. Everywhere that I go, they're actually in harmony. They're actually moving. They're working together. I mean, I don't think there's an issue there outside of just lack of educating each other to each other's cultures.
Right.
But I don't think there's no specific, animosity or no thought process of they don't like us, we don't like them. I think that was all a part of a propaganda that was just built to, again, make people fear going to Africa.
Right.
What it is these little agenda and politics, and it's really more so about control and population, control to an extent where, just imagine if the story was the other way around.
Yeah.
Then all African Americans would really want to go back to Africa and never come back.
That's true.
Imagine what that would do to American. Imagine what that would do to America. Imagine what that would do to the economy. Imagine what that would do to, just imagine if America had no black people.
Imagine.
Just imagine that.
We wouldn't be sitting in here right now. This country would not be what it
would be so, they would become Africans.
As someone of African descent, would you say that being more inclusive, having a collective thinking is a better way? Because if you want to build a hospital, even entertainment structures in Africa, do you think we need to shift from trying to get that personal acknowledgement versus the collective?
I cannot agree with you more. We Africans have failed in being able to work together because of that mindset. What is holding us back is really the mindset. If we're bringing the world to Africa, how can we also bring Africa's diaspora to Africa? We cannot bring it by telling them what is wrong with Africa. We cannot bring it to them by painting to them the picture of dilapidated hospitals and classrooms and corruption and all of that. We have to tell them that 10 years from now, here's what we want. We have to change that conversation and paint a different picture of the Africa that is today to the Africa that we want, that we can see 10 years from now.
Why is there so much resistance in our culture and our community in getting counseling? It doesn't seem like we like to go for counseling because not everything needs a pill.
No, our common mental issue is stress, so it's like depression, anxiety, fear, all that is the common one with us. So again, stigma is like, and trust. The stigma is like, well, if I go to the counseling means, or mental health means, it's a huge, huge stigma. That means insane, unstable mentally. That's what it sounds. So people trying to be away from that identity, trying to avoid that negative connotation of the community.
The northern part of Ghana, we did a mission there, and I cried that a town of about 500,000 people did not have a dialysis machine, did not have a mammography machine, and they have built a stadium for 25 million. So the volunteer said, but how come they don't have a machine to just look at women's breasts or dialysis, but they have a $25 million stadium? Guess what they built a stadium for? For the African Cup Nation. How many games did they play there? 2, 3 games? But that's the thing, that we have the money, we have the resources. It's just putting our resources where we actually need it. And healthcare has never been a priority for our leaders in Africa.
I believe the leaders in Africa don't quite understand the basic concept of governance. And they don't understand the basic rules of making public policy. And therefore, if you have a conversation with an African politician and you try to point out maybe some things that they could do better, they tell you this is not America. And so they shut down.
I'm curious to know, your father was in Romania.
Yes.
And you were going to shame the family if you were not initiated into the secret society, and your dad accepted that, or was he part of that decision?
My father was part of the decision. My father was the person who actually paid for the procedure to happen. It was expected that I, at the age of 19, I should not be shaming our family and my father, who was standing to become a politician. And the ritual of initiation into the secret society of Sierra Leone is what we later found out to be called FGM, female genital mutilation.
Malaria for Africa, which Quincy Jones was the chairperson, was really nice. They raised money to buy a lot of malaria medications, give it to people in Africa. You know, when they have malaria, it was fine. There were other types of organizations for clothes and stuff like that. But I said, you know what? How long are we going to keep giving them shoes and clothes? How about we educate these people and then they can now afford their medication and their clothes? So that way the burden is less. And once you educate them, they take care of their entire family. And that was how Upward African Woman started. I just wanted to fill the void, to create something that was permanent, not temporary.